What's up? It's your boy Karceno. Just wanted to get up close and personal with y'all real quick. Now, the video you heard by 78, where he went in on, we won't say what websites, companies' names, for dogging him out on YouTube, is the same thing I went through and experienced dealing with all different types of website giants when I came into the game. Because before YouTube even existed, I really didn't start from YouTube. I started as an everyday fan who used to watch boxing like everybody else in the gyms, and got a break to start working with Don King Promotions. And I'm not saying I came in there as the executive. We did everything. It was me, it was a couple other guys there. They were like hanger-ons, like groupies almost, but we were like roadies. If they needed something done, we did it. We were just eager to be there. By me being in Chicago and there, New York, all over the place, I can't just go and travel. See, you weren't paid on salary as part of the staff. You were given basically per diem money while you were there, but you would have to spend your own money to travel there. So, fortunately, at that time, Don King Promotions had good relationships with Chicago as far as bringing boxing here. It was a lot of fights brought here at that time. Rockman and Monty Barrett. We saw what's his name, Goliath, whatever. So there was a lot of events that they brought here that was very convenient for me to go and do work. Then when I was in Vegas, I always saw. And what I did was, to get in this position, Juan Gonzalez from Don King Promotions, he's the director of boxing at that time, I hounded him over and over and over again. Pestered this man till he could not stand me, till he wanted to get me to Carl King. Once he saw me in play, he said, "Thank God I saw you, so I can get you to Carl and you'll work with Carl." Just so he can get rid of me. But watching him work as a director, or learning the business on the inside from him and Carl, I was able to understand the business, know a lot of things that happened that a lot of other people who came under journalism or anything else never had the experience to come in from that side of the fence. So I was bringing and enlightening the boxing world about what was going on that side of the fence and why these certain things were happening in boxing. And once that became prominent and dominant through YouTube, and you had other fans who was just going out there speaking. Like, I'm circa 2006, but there were some guys there in 2005 who was just talking boxing. And there's nothing wrong with it. Now, Twitter, Facebook, all of this stuff really didn't exist back then. Was never at its height, was never even around. So, all of these journalists, they had to actually write to get the news to people. And we cared about what they wrote. And we had no choice but to go off of what they said. So they can create a story in their own point of view And we have no choice but to accept it as fact. Because we didn't have the information or the know-how or the clientele or basically the technology at that time to know any better. The boxing magazines come out, you buy it right away. I mean, Fight News was the biggest thing going. And this is with AOL with dial-up was going down, you know. So at this time, it was being dominated from a non-video standpoint, but it was right on the cusp where video was getting ready to come into play. Then we see the next round. Steve Kim, Doug Fisher. How they sat there, talked about the fights. I was subscribed, I paid my fee to Max Boxing. And this is where I got the idea to sit down and go on YouTube and do it. From watching Steve Kim and Doug Fisher do the next round. And to watch them do it live in front of me after the press conference was over at Zab Judah Floyd Mayweather fight was just more impressive. You know, was great friends with both at that time, made very good contacts with them. But once I started making YouTube videos, all of a sudden the journalists were threatened. And they felt threatened because, see, this shakes their world. Journalists' fear is to be in front of a camera, being interviewed. Journalists don't like to be interviewed. They're not dressed or normally are not comfortable with being the center of attention from the video standpoint. They don't mind if their voice is on there. They don't want to be seen. A lot of them got ketchup stains on their shirts and, you know, deadlines to meet. You know, they got the 6 o'clock shadow going on. They don't want to be filmed. You know, so it's just like the radio disc jockey. When you see him in person, you just can't put the voice with the face. It's one of those situations. So now, YouTube is growing every year. It is growing, and growing. Now, at this time, you know, people are doing 5-minute videos. That's all they're allowed you to do. Certain people were special enough to get unlimited. If you lied and said you was a director, you probably got unlimited. But the community of people talking about boxing is growing on YouTube, because now when writers are writing stuff, people who are actually at these events or filming it or interviewing these people, because they're right there, we get the information faster. It's like, okay, well, we've already seen it from this guy. So you're telling, he already said this is what happened, and you're painting this picture of I have no idea, because that's not what happened at all, because the guy just said it right here on YouTube. So I don't understand how YouTube wasn't a reliable source when it was coming from the horse's mouth. So what I decided to do, because I kept getting flagged, and I'm not a tech guy. I'm not finna download software. I'm not finna fix this audio. So all that you've been hearing and complaining about, you can complain till your ears fall off. You're gonna hear that sound until I go, because I don't care about that. The words, the message, all of that is important. I figured that's what we're talking about. I'm not here for flash. I'm not here to try to drive up hits. I'm not here for all of that garbage. All I'm here to do is to tell y'all what's going on the most I can, and hopefully you like it, and if you don't, I'm sorry. But that's been my job, and been doing it for a long time now. It's like when I look back and see where I started to now, it's like, wow. Because basically my existence, all the stuff we did with DKP and all that stuff back then in those days, nothing compared to YouTube. It's like I got known because of YouTube. So YouTube would always be the home, as where the people around the boxing community knew me from. Now, with that being said, the powers that be did not like the information that I was putting out because I have creative control. And that's what I wouldn't allow YouTube to do to me. YouTube, as most of the websites do, they hoard themselves out. They hoard themselves out to networks, to businesses and corporations who come with money and say, we want to do this, we want to do that. But YouTube wasn't structured for that. It was actually generated for the fans to just use. And there was no, this person's going to be, video is going to be featured over here and it's going to be above you because they have money. That didn't exist. No promotions were existing at that time. Then they got large enough to all of a sudden you get movie companies, 20th Century Fox. Everybody wants to spend budget money on YouTube to advertise. Now you and your needs have become extinct. What you have now become is a consumer for YouTube. Before, remember they had those when they had the AdSense where you had to put the little ads up on there and pray somebody clicked them or deceive them into clicking them, and so you come in there and ban you for too many clicks and all that craziness. You know, it's like, yeah, it's too many clicks. So it's, remember they used to do that back in the day? All of that, it doesn't even exist now because now they have a better system. They realize it's better to let everybody who's getting a certain amount of hits, let them qualify and give them the option to monetize because they're doing us the favor. The more they put out and the more money we're getting from the ad companies, and they're doing the work for them, and we're giving them pennies to the dollar as to what they're actually making. And the big giants, the guys who all the tech, and they're able to afford to become partners and advertise and put your promotions on here and ads. So all of this money is generated. So all of these boxing companies were paying money to submerge my videos. They were spending money to sabotage me. And people would say, oh, who are you that they would spend money to? Because if I'm destroying your product, if you're trying to send a product that is substandard through the boxing community and someone's bashing it and beating it down and it goes viral, do you understand how damaging that is when you're spending thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars promoting a product that is being destroyed at its every fashion through a free site when you can spend money to have it submerged? You're going to pay it. You're going to pay it. And that is exactly what happened. Budget money was spent to submerge videos I was putting out that had went viral. There are plenty of, if people remember my old account, oh, there was a lot of damage done there because I used to show video as to what was going on, and then I've learned a lot of things about how the copyright things are. I learned a lot about that then, you know. So I said, okay, the next page we won't do that. We got to be smarter, and then they still found a way to try to sabotage that one. Thanks to Blood Boxing, we got it back. But this is the point that I'm trying to make. These boxing websites all exist through YouTube. Every single last one of them. They exist off YouTube. Not to say journalism is dead, because it isn't. I mean, it's just the truth. It's not. Journalism, you still need someone to sit there to write and do the interviews, and that is a very tough job and it's very trying. And our journalists, you know, they get upset sometimes that like these tepid off-brand people who just come up here and just spend money and make a website, and they're a website owner, and then they just go at it. But fortunately, I'm not one of them. And yes, there are some people that just came, they know nothing about boxing, and they got money, so they buy a website, they spend money on YouTube and get the partnerships and spend their money and make their little thing go, because they know how the marketing going, and they know it's money in Mayweather and Pacquiao. So they start off with Mayweather and Pacquiao and do about 600 videos about Mayweather and Pacquiao, and they feed off whatever YouTube fans that's on YouTube talking about boxing, of what they think is hot. Adrian Bronner's hot, Madonna's hot, that's the new topic. This is hot, this is the new topic. It's nothing but marketing guys who are involved in this. And by me having experience in the marketing world, I understand what they're doing and how they're doing it. They take from me, they take from everybody here. I was one of the first human beings to ever interview people over the phone, to show people and give it to y'all for free on YouTube. Journalists would call and interview these guys over the phone and then write it up and make you come to their websites to see it. I would give it to you guys for free on YouTube, then put it on our website, Boxing Socialist. That's how much I cared that y'all got the information. Then people would take from what I've done, write articles on it, no problem, then criticize people on YouTube when you're actually stealing from them. Our website was one of the first ever to use Twitter as a source of information when it came to writing articles. Sean takes credit for that because that's his thing. You know, TMZ was one of the first people to do it because they take stuff off Twitter and stuff and put it up, and he loves TMZ. So he said, well, we can do that for boxing. And when the fighters put it up there, that's like their statement. It's their official accounts. So he would cut, paste, and do all that, and put the actual Twitter there, and write his article about it. None of the main website giants were doing this, because that's not journalism. Now you look. What do you see? All the boxing websites are responding, oh, this is what he said on Twitter. Wow. Never said that before. Because everybody's a Me Too website. We were one of the first websites to give you, boxing websites, to give you predominantly more videos for free. We didn't charge anything, for free. Videos all day long. You didn't have to download software. It was all YouTube uploaded to the network. You can click on it. You could play it anywhere because you had YouTube. It was uploaded from YouTube. You could upload your videos. No website had it out at that time. None. Now look. You got websites that used to just do journalism and used to just do articles. Now they got YouTube videos in their articles. When did that happen? Everybody has stolen from the YouTube community. Everybody has taken from it. You know, written articles off us. I don't mind that. Just give it its proper etiquette. Give people their proper respect and they just do. Don't down it as if it's a mediocre thing, because it isn't. It's a very large part of the boxing community. It is how boxing is advertised now. And if you don't know that, then you don't know the sport. 80% of the boxing business is marketed online. 80. No 75, no 80%. 90% is marketed online. So you think about that when you talk about knowing the business. And 78 Sports TV, he's doing exactly what the people on YouTube and everybody in his channel love. He talks about boxing. He's not saying he's the great expert. He's not saying he's the best in the world. He's going to give you interviews. He's going to tell it like it is. And I thought we supposed to support stuff like that. You know, that's what I thought. So, like, as far as me and Ben Thompson and all that stuff, like, me and Ben, we don't have a problem. We don't. We had a conversation in Chicago, squashed that. So, whether he was telling the truth, whether he was lying, I really don't care. I just don't have the energy to deal with it. It's like unnecessary. You know, I got better things to do in the sport of boxing than to focus my attention on trying to attack Ben Thompson. You know, just over and over again. But 78 felt slighted. And if you read the article, you could see why he would feel slighted. And he responded. And in the past, I've done that. Because that wasn't right. If I feel you attack me, I attack you. If you do something shady, then I come after you. That's the nature of the game. And it's like, I just want my just due. I'm not finna let you dump on me. So I think the article that was written by Ben, you know, he should probably apologize to 78. You know, send him a email message just saying, look, that wasn't my intention. This is what I meant, like just people in general or whatever. Then just squash it, you know, and do it like men. You know, so we can move on and talk about other things in boxing. That's what I hope would happen, but it might not happen. But hey, it is what it is. But the focus has got to go back on boxing. So, everybody, I done talked your ears off long enough. Let's get ready for 2014 and get to these boxing fights. We got Friday night fights coming up. Yeah, you know how Friday night fights kick everything off. You know, they actually did the weigh-ins already for that Andy Garlinger, and I think he's fighting. No, Garlinger ain't fighting this. I think was it Mendez? And what's that, Barlethemy or whatever? So that's going to be on ESPN 2. So I'm going to have to check that out then. Then we got the rematch between Bermain Stavern against Chris Areola, the Nightmare. Who y'all got in that? Somebody going to be the first in that one. That's what they should just name that fight, the first. Either he going to be the first Haitian heavyweight champion of the world, or Chris will be the first Mexican heavyweight champion in the world. So it's going to be somebody's first that night. And I'm out.